And we're back. Welcome for another episode of Awesome Stuff Badly with me, Uncle Dr. Ernie. Oh, yes, it's been a long road, but we finally have a functioning test harness. And I'm so excited. I know tests may sound like a really boring thing to a lot of you, but this is so cool. Amateurs want to feel good about what they're doing. Professionals want to know that they're doing good. And the only way to do that is to have great feedback. And in programming, the way we get great feedback is eventually with actual testing with real users. But before that, it's testing our code to make sure it does what we think it's doing. And I'm so excited to be able to go through and dig into the code and talk about and explain and verify that the code is doing what it should, because it helps me think more clearly. And it also gives me a foundation to build everything else on top of. And if you get your foundation right, everything else becomes incredibly easy. And if your foundation is wrong, you will spend a lot of time and a lot of pain for no good purpose. And in fact, that's what we're trying to do with the Swan Factory, is rebuild the foundations of programming, the culture, the technology, the terminology, to make it accessible to kids from all ages, all backgrounds, and all experience levels. And I'm so excited to be digging into this and making that start happening right here before your very eyes. Let's go. Dear God, thank you for this incredible world that I get to live in and help create and help discover how you've created it, doing physics in code, doing theology in code. It's just mind-blowing. I'm just so grateful to my wife and my partners for giving me the opportunity to explore this dimension, and I just pray that it will be successful, and that it will bless a lot of people and make you happy. I ask this in Jesus' name. Amen. So let's get going. Okay, we finished up with syncing our codes. We're back here on the master branch, and let's check out a new branch, and let's dig into the world. So we'll start with we need a test world file. And it's going to look kind of like this. If I could spell. We grab our world from above, and then we create our little test world object, which takes a test and an RX, sure. And then just simply make sure that world factory exists. Awesome. And then add that into our test suite. And there's got to be a more elegant way of doing this, but I don't know it yet, so I'm just going to brute force it for now. Boom, chicka boom. Chicka boom. And let's see if that shows up. Still chugging away there. Awesome. And what's World Factory exists? Awesome! Yes, it does nothing, but it does nothing properly, and that's such a huge barrier to get over when you're dealing with programming. Yes, git add source. Git commit-am include new test world. Awesome! Now, what is the world function? What we want is, okay, let's hide all the irrelevant stuff for now. Help me think more clearly. It's just us and the world testing. And next thing we want to do is equals, let's see what the We give it an up, an RX, and a dock. You know, it actually would be a heck of a lot simpler to just call this from our God object and not even mess around with it, because that's what our actual code's going to do. That's what we're going to do. So, and that's going to be world equals God passing suite. And in fact, we are going to hide this because it is going to give us additional noise that we don't need. So now we just have one test passing at a time. Awesome. And let's just make that our world. Are we testing the? Yeah, we tested all that there. Okay. Next, we want to have that the world stores properties. So this is blurring a bit with the test God file, but that's okay. So basically, we want to be able to do stores primitive properties, primitives faithfully. So we actually want to create a test store label with a key and a value. What that's going to do, is it will say world.put key value, and then it will say result equals world.get key, and it'll be t.equal result comma value. Right? So still good? Still good. Okay, we got our test there, just not passing. Awesome. Test store 1, 2. Make sure we get a failure. Yes. Well. Okay, we got to pass T in. Fine, we pass T in. Awesome. This seems pretty brain dead simple right now, but guess we're still good, right? We're still good. Store number 2, leave the TOK. We'll start a string. Okay. Doesn't know what those are. Awesome. And then what else is our primitive that we want to be able to store? I'm going to store an array. All right. That there, since this is going to be otherwise going to be hard to read. Awesome. Now let's actually get a look at our world file and see what it is that we're doing here that is non-trivial. So, we have these helper functions, which are things that we've created for other purposes. Children are always a challenge. Trust me, I've got two precocious, not quite preschoolers, but one preschooler, one first grader. So the joy and bane of my existence. And we need to be thinking about how we want to make the world deal with things. But the first thing we see here in this code that we have to make sure we're thinking through carefully is our inheritance tree. Actually, the first thing we see here is Rx, which gets back to creating children, which means, frankly, we've got to kind of deal with the pain of children. Okay, what I was doing with children was making a dictionary of them, which turned out to be, I think, the wrong solution. So let's think through what we want here. We want, actually, do we want to be able to expose, get children? Let's look and see. This is nice. One thing about doing this after the fact is that we can look at how we're actually using the code. So look at it in our source directory here. Yes, we actually want, the word map is just way too overloaded in this world. We're using it for dictionaries, for map reduce. So let's think, is that we want to iterates over children. That's what we really want. Right. We can just move this inside of here and save the namespacing. Does that work? Save that, and stub iteration. So what does that mean? We want to be able to say we want to have a world.addChild, and we want a world.mapChildren. So the challenge is, do we want the children object to be an array that we return, or is it really just the iteration? Essentially the map. And what's a better word for this? So we have the idea that, let's use it in a sentence. Where was it that we were saying? So in our drawing object, we have here, we want to say, get children map. We want to really be saying something more like world get turtles, map over draw world. what we're really doing is we have a world, right? We have a world which has something called children, which we're calling it children because it's all about the children. And also that's what JavaScript calls the DOM, rather uses to refer to child nodes. And we really want something sort of like, let's do this in context, right? Something like create new array, create array for each child using this function, which is ridiculously verbose, but we start with something really bad and then iterate on it. So this is going to be something like I cannot think of a verb. Let's see what looks better in context here. We have get, iterate, each child, and yes, this is where we need to start thinking about capitalization. We haven't broken yet. Okay, let's go with that. And let's further, no, yes. Every world starts with children. Because what is a world without children? Okay. Then, but we don't access it. Let's start with the assumption we can't access it directly. Each child. Okay. What we want is our world here. We've got a bunch of getters we haven't tested yet. Put is actually more primitive than get in an interesting sort of way. So this becomes add child. Yes, this breaks all our code. Not a problem. And then not necessarily local. We just want to get it. And it could even be a function, right? So that's at get. Children. JavaScript. And to array. Push. Thank you. Push. Add child just takes a value. That's important. Push value. It's real simple. And then map becomes each child syntax now. Take a single value. And each is implicitly a map, which is, I think, better, frankly. Should be map child. That would be more consistent, isn't it? Yeah. Okay. Close that. We don't care what's happening there yet. And let's see, is our code actually running at the moment? Yes. It's passing now. It's had a rough time, but it's good now, right? Yep, we're good now. Oh yeah, okay. Let's actually fix the unnamed asserts. Yes. Well, this is probably a good time to look at our test hygiene. Let's say this first. Child tests. T equal just gives me an OK, which is not very informative. Make that smarter, it could be what? Equals T awkward. Right, it's just a syntactic sugar over equal. It's just a syntax sugar over OK. Good. Just make it look nice so we can better tell what we're doing. Git status, we're all good. Yes, it's still building. All right, now we have these methods. Now let's actually see if we do that. So, obj equals, this value equals, let's go. Rohan gets priority here. Actually, no, let's get Anjali. Rohan's getting lots of Arab time because my co-founder, but we will go ahead and add that there. So we will have we'll add child Anjali, and then what we need to do next is map child is hold up map child into Docker. Okay, haven't broken anything yet. And we want t not equal left, right. How are we doing our test equal result? Let's make sure we're following the right convention here. Type of data function. Yes. So this is what t dot equal expected, no, actual expected. actual, and that's going to say, usually that should fail, just to make sure we're being honest here. Awesome. Still failing, and that should actually be Anjali Prabhakar. Expected. Actual was Prabhakar. So, of course, we unintentionally. Awesome! Go, Anjali. We really don't need all these. Just implicitly. This direction. Let's make this a little clearer. And then we can be clear what's going on here. Awesome. So head child and map child are all nicely configured. Get what else is going on? We have all right, now we need to start doing those children. Yes. We'll test world. Worlds for dictionaries. And that's going to be t.fail, t.end, t.fail. Yes. So, and we'll leave that on a cliffhanger since we're out of time for this episode. Thanks for watching. This is way cool for me. I don't know how it is for you, but I'm glad you could join me. And I hope to see you next time as we do more awesome stuff.